How to increase your value. Hi, my name is Dr. Meghana Dikshit. I'm the author of the book You Matter and Brain and Performance Expert. Today's topic is about how to increase your value. But before we dive deep, make sure that you subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so that you get the notification of the new fresh video every single week. So let's dive deeper into how to increase your value. A 22-year-old entrepreneur, Michael Hood, once asked this question to Warren Buffett, and his answer was very simple: invest in yourself. Warren Buffett, the biggest investor of this century, is saying invest in yourself. Your income will not far exceed your personal development. It will take lucky jump sometimes. But if you cannot handle the responsibilities that it comes along with the income jump, it will go back to its original place. Now, why does that happen? Have you seen in your life this happening again and again, the same pattern? You reach 99 and then there's one point you require to go to 100, but at that exact moment something happens and the opportunity gets sabotaged and you come down to zero or very low. Has it happened to you? Are you having a lot of experience, lot of skills, lot of expertise and degrees and stuff like that, but you're still driving your life in a slow lane instead of fast? Does that happen to you? If it happens, let me know in the chat box. Let me know in the comment box what are your exact patterns that you have observed in your life that is taking your life into the slow lane rather than driving it in the fast lane, in spite of having every ingredient. Now let me tell you something. The life that you have right now is the exact value you're placing yourself. You heard it right. The life that you're living right now is the exact value you're placing on yourself. The only way to live an extraordinary life is by increasing your value. Now, you must have heard scarcity principle. There's scarcity principle in psychology, there's a scarcity principle in economics, and the scarcity principle talks about the limited edition. If you have a limited supply of something, human beings tend to put more value to that limited supply. And if you have the supply in abundance, its value goes down. Same goes with you and me. If you become a limited edition, you are going to increase your value in the market. See, at the soul level, we are all equals. But when you go into the market, and the world is a market, each one of us have a value placed on us. Whether you like it or you don't like it. Whether you go ahead and talk philosophical or be spiritual and say, hey, how can you say something like that? But that's the truth. And the moment you accept this truth, that yes, world is a marketplace, I am the stock in this marketplace, and the kind of value that I put on myself is the value that outside world is going to put on. Everybody is looking at return on investment for themselves. You invest in a stock market. What do you look at? You look at the return on investment. The company who's giving you the job is looking at return on investment. You are the product. Anywhere, in a relationship, in your career, in your business, in your job, why somebody will give you the love, support and money that you truly want? They will do so only when you value yourself and you're able to communicate your value into the world. Does this make sense? Type MS in the chat box if it makes sense. Now let's understand how to increase your value from this point of view, to understand the only choice that you have in your life, if you want to climb the ladder of success, is to increase your value every single day. The more limited edition that you become, the higher your value is in the world. There are two ways that you can increase your value. The first one is technical development. In your industry, in your job, in your workplace, what is the skill that you are bringing in? I'm sure that in that industry, if you're making a certain amount, There's another person who's also making a 10x amount in that industry. So what are that person's skills, abilities, capabilities? What are they bringing into the industry that just does not make them relevant in the industry, but also makes them indispensable? Every industry, there are a few people, those who are indispensable. Every company is ready to absorb them, ready to give them opportunity. They are doing something different than what you're doing. So where is the gap in your technical skills? How can you enhance them? Because today's day and age, we are living in such a beautiful world where everything is available online. You can join a part-time course, you can do a full-time course, whatever works for you with your lifestyle. How can you start upgrading your skills so that you just don't be relevant in the industry but eventually become indispensable? People put more value on people, those who are indispensable. That's your word. Your keyword is indispensable. And if you're 100% committed to be indispensable in your industry, type indispensable in the comment section. Now see, when you gather the technical skills and that makes you indispensable, it is still 20% of the value that you have. You heard it right. 20% only. And now you must be thinking, oh my God, I spent so much time, I invested so much money, I did so much work, and it's only 20%. Absolutely yes. Your technical skills contribute to only 20% of your success. Companies today are hiring people more based on their personal skills than their technical skills. Now imagine if there are two people competing for the same interview. One has a great technical skill and the other has a great technical skills plus personal skills. Which one do you think will get an edge over the other? The second one, right? And it's not just in the job. It's also in the business. It's anywhere you go. Your technical skills will only take you so far. But add to that, 80% of your success depends on your personal skills, your personality. The way you think, the way you feel, the way you behave, your habits, your attitude, your learning ability. Are you someone who's a leadership material? Are you someone who's going to take up those roles that somebody else will not be able to do it? 80% of your success depends on who you are rather than what you do. Because you can always upgrade the technical skills if you have the right mindset, isn't it? So you have to ask yourself this question. In your personal space, what is it that you need to change? What kind of thoughts do you want? What kind of emotions that you want to bring in? What kind of behaviors, habits, and decisions that you bring into yourself? Your personal skills are absolutely critical. Where do you need to improve your communications? What do you need to work on your verbal communication, in your physical communications, in your non-verbal communications? Where do you need to work on your tonality? A lot of our communication happens with our tone. The tone is very evidently controlled by your subconscious mind. And a lot of people are not aware that their tone can be more harsh than their words. Sometimes you may be saying beautiful words but in a wrong tone. And yes, it's going to hurt this other person who's in front of you. You're not going to be able to reach or impact or influence the person who's opposite to you because your tone is not appropriate to the words that you're saying. And when I'm saying this, have a look at your life, not just yourself. How many people do you know in your life you don't like their tone? You may be thinking that what they're saying is making sense, but the way they are saying is not making sense. And the tone is basically coming from your subconscious behaviors. It's not something which is consciously somebody is doing. Most of your emotions are not conscious, they're very much unconscious. That's the reason 80% of your success depends on who you are rather than what you do. If this makes sense, type MS in the chat box and tell me that 80% is your personality, 20% is your technical skills. Write this down. It's very, very critical that you work on yourself. What you are rather than who you are. There's no end to keep working on your skills technically and upgrading yourself, and you must do it. But at the same time, how can you get better at who you are every single day? And also, if you want to increase your value, you must understand to value your time. Each one of us have got 24 hours, right? I've never met a rich person who does not value his time, or I have never met a poor person who values its time. So please understand this, the value that you put on your time. You don't get paid for the time that you put in. You get paid for the value that you put in. But having said that, the time is very, very critical. Some things are time sensitive. And what you do with your time is very critical. If you put your time into making more money, if you put your time in bettering yourself, if you put your time creating more influence, if you put your time in your health, if you put your time in your relationships, things are going to change. So work on valuing your time. If you're wasting your time, it's a limited resource. And if you're wasting your limited resource, remember, you are decreasing your value. You remember when you buy a car, the moment it is out of the showroom, it starts depreciating in the value. Why? Because the time clock starts running. Isn't it? Same goes with us. The amount of time that you waste is actually depreciating your value. In that time, what are the things that you need to do? Where do you need to invest your time? Whether it's bettering yourself, becoming the better version of you, investing in your relationships, investing in networking, investing in a course that makes you a better person, changes your personality, working on your subconscious mind. What do you need to do in your time, and how can you start taking more charge of your time to increase your value? Become better at everything that you do. Make growth your daily agenda. It should be part of your daily life. The one thing that I always tell my team is to become so good at what they do that they become irreplaceable. They cannot be ignored. You develop your character. You increase your skills. You bring the value to the table. And you cannot be ignored. People will trust you more. People will give you more opportunities. Look at me. I am bringing in this video to you for one simple reason, that my agenda is to add massive value to my students. If you're watching this video, most likely you're my student today, or maybe you'll become. But you're part of my community, and I want to make sure that I create videos regularly, good quality, good content videos for you, so that you start increasing your value in the world. When your value increases in the world, automatically it contributes to my value in the world. Because together, in the collaboration, we increase our value. And the moment you start increasing your value, this world becomes a better place to live. Now, something I want you to do very specifically to increase your value. The first thing is, take a close look at your expertise. Whatever the subject that you are expert at, whatever the subject that people want to learn from you, or want to pay you, or want to be interested in you, your subject. How good are you at your subject? Are you good? Are you better? Are you best? Now, you know what? Keep it aside. I don't want you to be good, better, or best at something. I want you to be master at something. What do I mean by that? Creating mastery is a journey where you're constantly learning, constantly improvising, and constantly excelling at what you do. Not stop at something, but you're constantly working on it. Whenever people think of that subject, I want you to think about you. You should become the synonym to the subject. And not just that. Earlier times, if you're good at one subject, you are master at one subject, people would be appreciating it and you would get a lot of value. But today's time,
You have to be multidimensional. You have to be knowing a lot more things than what you actually know. So, and it's a constantly evolving world. Like every 30 seconds, there is a new app launching. There are higher chances of you becoming redundant if you don't upgrade yourself. And upgrading doesn't mean that you're only upgrading your technical skills. But how faster are you upgrading your learnability, your learning skills? How faster are you upgrading the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you act? How fast are you moving from problem to solution? All of this is very, very important when it comes to your expertise. The second thing that I want you to focus on is building your influence. How can you build your influence wherever you are? Whether it's your team, whether it's the organization that you work for, whether it's the society, whether it's your family. How can you build more influence? How many more people know you for what you do? Building influence, like people should look at you as a solution provider, whichever area you are. Now, the moment you become a solution provider, you start becoming more likable, and people trust people, those whom they like more. So how can you start being more likable by providing solutions? How do you build that celebrity status around you? I'm not saying celebrity as in the Bollywood or Hollywood celebrities. I'm talking about every person. You walk into the room and you cannot go unnoticed. I'm talking about that kind of an influence on your surroundings. How can you build that? The third thing that I want you to focus on is your productivity. Now you got to ask yourself this question every single time. How can I be more productive? How can I use my time more wisely? How can I do more? How can I produce more? And how can I get the better results? The more productive you are, the faster you will build your value. The fourth thing that I want you to work on is your personality. Who you are matters more than what you do. You heard it right. Listen to it one more time. Who you are matters more than what you do. Because you know what? What you do can be worked upon. What you do can be changed. What you do can be excelled. But who you are is primary and the most critical aspect when it comes to adding value to people's life. So the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you act, even at the smallest of the things, even at the most mundane task that you're doing, how you're doing largely depends on the personality that you have. And based on your personality is something that you bring onto the table. Your confidence, your abilities to deal with situations makes you a more influential or more valuable person. And the fifth thing that I want you to do is to accomplish all the top 4 that I shared with you right now is masterminding. Surrounding yourself with the right kind of people. Being in the right rooms for you to learn and grow. One of my mentors has long back told me this one thing, and that hit hard. That if you are the smartest person in the room, then you're not in the right room. What does that mean? If you're the smartest person in every room that you go, that means you're not learning anything. There is nobody to challenge you. And if there is no challenge in a healthy way, you'll attract worse challenges for yourself. You'll attract problems because that's how you'll grow. So how do you start giving yourself better challenges? And for that, you should have better community around you whom you look at those people and you feel, wow, I want to become like that person. You get inspired to do more. You get inspired to become more. So how can you start being in the community of wiser people, wiser than you, so that you are learning and growing? These are my top 5 when it comes to increasing my value. Which one of these 5 do you feel resonate with the most? And you're going to apply this immediately. Tell me in the chat box and also write value if you got a lot of value in this video. Share with at least 10 people if you care that let's increase the value in this world. Let's make sure that this world becomes a better place. And if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, make sure you do that. Hit that bell icon and give me a thumbs up.